When punk came to London. Patti Smith, live at London's Roundhouse, May the 16th, 1976. I was super excited about this Sunday. After years of listening to dodgy bootlegs from Max's Kansas City and CBGBs of the Ramones, television, Patti Smith, we were going to finally see one of the leaders of the New York punk rock scene appear in our back garden in London's Kentish town. That Sunday evening, we got there quite early. We went upstairs to the Roundhouse and had a few drinks in the bar. And one thing was very, very apparent, that this wasn't going to be your usual Sunday night Roundhouse crowd. That usually consisted of young men, long hair, denim jackets, leather jackets, jeans, or slightly older men who you'd find in the bar. They'd have long hair, beards, greatcoats, and usually clutching a plastic bag full of albums. These dudes would have endless discussions over the merits of The Court of the Crimson King, Emerson, Lake and Palmer's Tarkus, Genesis, Selling England by the Pound, and Yes's Tales of Topographic Oceans. Now, this group was very, very different. First off, it was 50% men and 50% women. You had the Bowie fans with the Aladdin Sane haircuts and makeup. You had bikers, shaved heads and tattoos, a lot of women in couples, and you had a bunch of people who looked like they'd been transported from Andy Warhol's 1969-1970 New York scene. Of course, sitting there in a corner, cross-legged on the floor, back against the wall, reading Lord of the Rings was, of course, the one token hippie. At 9 p.m. on the dot, Patti Smith bounded onto the stage, looking like a female Keith Richard, shadowboxing away round the amps and the drum kit, full of nervous energy. To her left on guitar, you had Lenny Kaye, and on her right on guitar, you had Ivan Kral. From time to time, one of them would drop the guitar and take on bass duties, but for many songs, it was just two guitars and no bass. On the far right, sitting behind a bank of keyboards, Richard Soul, and right at the back, driving the whole thing along, J. Lee Doherty on drums. No long introductions, just a quick hi-ya and bang, off we go, straight into the Velvets. We're going to have a real good time together. And straight away you know this is a band most certainly in the groove, and they know how to rock. For track 2, Redondo Beach, Patti informs us all that this is a place where women go to love other women. Kral switches to bass and we move into some serious reggae territory, so much harder edged than the album version. Close your eyes and you could imagine it was Sly and Robbie up there on stage instead of Kral and Doherty. It's a track that's so infectious with its groove that it gets the whole of the Roundhouse skanking. I kid you not, it was just wonderful. But the New Musical Express said these guys couldn't play, they weren't very technically proficient. Really? A huge wail of guitar feedback, and then suddenly silence, as we are just left with Richard Soul's piano, and Patti sings, "Every night before I go to sleep, I find a ticket, win a lottery, scoop the pearls up from the sea, cash them in and buy you all the things you need. Every night before I rest my head, I see those dollar bills go swirling round my bed. I know they're stolen, but I don't feel bad. I take that money, buy the things you never had." Patti moves around the stage like a whirling dervish, putting everything she has into this song, but it's only the third song. At one point, Patti turns and shouts the lyrics at J. Lee Doherty as they both drive the song forward. The faster Patti Smith sings, the faster Doherty's drums become. As the song comes to an impossible climax, you have Smith standing on the edge of the stage, microphone in hand, the other fist pumping the air, and you turn around and you look and there's 1,000 fists pumping there right with her. Patti whips off a t-shirt and uses it to wipe her sweating face. She then drops to the floor and does a couple of press-ups, turns and grins at the band. They know they've hit the ground running. and bang, off we go, straight into the next number. Often when bands play new songs, ones that haven't been heard before, they kind of space them out, in between the better known stuff, but not here. Patti hits us with 4 new songs, bang, one after the other. And these songs are so good that the intensity and energy of the gig just goes up and up and up. First up, Privilege, Set Me Free, which opens with just Soul's doomy organ and Doherty's marching drum rolls. Crash, in come the guitars, riffing like crazy as Patti sings, oh God, give me something, a reason to live. Halfway into the song, the guitars drop out and we are left with just Patti at the mic, arms spread in a crucifix pose, reciting Psalm number 23. And somehow, crazily, it works. The power chords come back in and Patti implores us, I'm so young, goddamn set me free. The song finishes with Patti down on her knees, microphone in hand, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. And straight into Pissing in a River. Every now and again you get those moments in live performance where the music just takes off. It all becomes a bit transcendental. And this was one of those moments. And very, very rarely do you get to see an artist put every ounce of their soul into a song. This was one of those times. Everyone in the band played their part, providing light and shade where needed. Even Ivan Krau's guitar solo went straight to the heart. In the description below I'm going to leave a link to the studio version of Pissing in a River. If you haven't heard it, please take a listen. Should I pursue a path so twisted? Should I crawl defeated and gifted? Should I go the length of a river, the royal, the throne, to cry you a river? Everything I've done for you. Oh, I give my life for you. Every move I made, I moved to you. And I came like a magnet for you, you know. What about it? You're going to leave me. What about it? You don't need me. What about it? I can't live without you. What about it? I never doubted you. What about it? What about it? What about it? Richard Soul's pounding piano takes us into the next song, the rocking, pumping. It's very New York Dolls, very Johnny Thunder and the Heartbreakers, and it's driven relentlessly by Doherty's drums. By now, the whole Roundhouse audience is jumping, moving along to every line. Oh, I go into the centre of the airplane. Baby gotta go to the centre of my brain. And my heart starts pumping, my fists start pumping. Got no recollection of my past reflection, so I'm free to move in the resurrection. My heart starts pumping, my fists start pumping. My heart's pumping, my heart is pumping. The band then moves straight into the next number, Ain't It Strange, with its spidery guitar figures and its reggae swamp blues rhythm, as Patti and the boys take us on a journey through New York's underbelly. Down in Vineland, there's a clubhouse, a girl in a white dress, a boy shoots white stuff. The song reflects that heroin world, where time is fractured and everything is pulled out of shape, and nothing seems real. Amongst the flickering strobe lights, Patti does this weird kind of Sufi dance, and the mood becomes very, very tribal, and it's all powered by Doherty's drums, and the band play with the rhythm. 1 minute it's reggae, 1 minute it's swampy blues, next minute it drifts into Native American Indian territory. It's all very weird and very surreal. Yeah, ain't it strange? By now, the Roundhouse resembles a sauna, and you have condensation dripping down the walls. Patti Smith then informs us that Keith Relf of the Yardbirds has died a few days earlier, and she goes into a long poem as a tribute. Halfway through that poem, we get wails and wails of feedback, courtesy Kral and Lenny Kaye. As Patti says, we are surrounded by fields of energy, fields of sound, fields of light. The boy looked at Johnny, and Johnny wanted to run, and straight into land. And the place goes absolutely nuts. There's a little place, a place called space. It's a pretty little place. I hold the key to the sea of possibilities. There are many times during that song, as Smith pours out her stream of consciousness poetry, that the song could descend into chaos, but somehow the band pull it back from the edge time and time again. And right at the end, we're just left with drums and then just Patti's voice. And there was a man dancing around to the simple rock and roll sound. Grins and smiles from the band as Patti grabs the microphone, leans back and sings, Jesus died for somebody's sins but not mine. A massive roar goes up, and then you know you're going on that exhilarating rock and roll ride, that slow, measured build up right to the climax. And when Patti sings Gloria, you know that 1,000 voices are going to come straight back with Gloria. It almost took the roof off the roundhouse. The band and Patti come back for one encore. Well, it was supposed to be one encore. The Who's My Generation. And you knew what was coming. You knew what was coming for sure. Why don't you all fuck off? Which drew a standing ovation from the place. The band by now could do no wrong. Off they trooped, but the audience wasn't having that. They stomped, they hollered, and the band came back for one final song. Obviously shattered, Patti put her arm around Lenny Kaye as they shared one mic, and they went into a raucous, shambolic rendition of the Stones' Time Is On My Side, and it seemed like everybody in the audience knew the lyrics. Time is on my side, yes it is. You're searching for good times, but just wait and see. You'll come running back, I won't have to worry no more. You'll come running back and spend the rest of my life with you, baby. As we fell out of the doors of the Roundhouse into that muggy Camden Town night, we knew we'd seen one of the great gigs. Next month, in June, the Sex Pistols would do their famous Manchester gig, and then in July, the Ramones visited the Roundhouse. And by the end of the year, UK punk was well and truly on its way. Thanks for listening. Please like and subscribe to the channel. It helps us continue what we're doing. Please stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you in the next video.